So Bruce, I know that you and I will both be feeling pretty yuck at the moment with the stats that are coming out with the deaths of women, especially by previous partners or current partners, that domestic violence is actually increasing rather than decreasing. And Australia seems to have like almost leads the world in ways which really, really worries me. We deeply care about this country. I want us to have a dive into that. We've already, we know that we can raise our boys to be respectful, but what sorts of things do you find are contributing to men that absolutely have to use violence in their intimate relationships, either when they're finished or not? And then I'll jump in with some ideas as well.
Yeah, well, we've looked at this from the point of view of the fact that boys learn attitudes to women, girls, at their father's feet. So we have four things that deal with the four problems that generate this. So one is dad has to role model respect for women. And it includes especially if mum isn't living in the same house, because it's pretty easy to have good cop, bad cop. It's pretty easy to put them down. But respect for women and to have respect for men and to not tolerate. And the second one is to be explicit about that. I mean, none of this boys will be boys. Honestly, that doesn't work. Kids have got their radar out, particularly boys, but girls as well, for what dad thinks. We have a little cartoon of an airport radar. The kids walk around, they want to know, and mums do a great job. They want to know what dad thinks. So dad has to be explicit. None of this boys will be boys. I heard you pulling the girls' pigtails in the playground or whatever. That is not on. That's not a family value. We'll go and apologise now. The third one is empathy. And this is where mums and girls, sisters, etc. can help. The dad says to the son, now you listen to the girls, what it feels like to be humiliated as a girl. What does it feel like? And the final one is the fundamental one of, why would a man hit someone if they are rejected? Why would they do that? Why do they feel the need to control? It's because they haven't had that growing up. It's not embedded in their heart. So to embed a sense of worth and resilience so that rejection is not the end of the world, they are resilient, they can bounce back from it, is a thing that has to be coached in kids and also shown. Just to pick one example, we talk about all the time about dad dates, one-on-one dad dates. And again, I confess that I didn't understand why this worked so well. But one really good reason is the child looks at dad and thinks, Dad's got lots of other friends. He chooses to come out and take me out. And he's got lots of things he'd rather do, play cricket, whatever, go and play golf. He chooses to spend time with me. I must be worth spending time with. And that feeling of worth, once carried around in life, is like a vaccination against substance abuse, domestic violence, and all sorts of things, because they don't need to do it. They're not made of glass where everyone's got a hammer. They are strong and resilient from within.
Love it. I think the other thing that I've found too is that hurt boys can become hurt men who hurt. So, there's still a perception that boys are tough. So therefore we can treat them more harshly than we do girls. And that's an absolute pile of crap. We know that they're equally sensitive to rejection and being judged. Exactly what you just said then. And there's a way that we can pull them in when they do things that aren't okay, that don't shame them and make them really angry. And I think also that, self-worth comes from a lot of boys and men from when they judge themselves, did I do good? So of course, winning is still kind of wired into the patriarchal system. You've got to be the winner. You can't be a loser. And therefore, if I perceive that this is my relationship and I'm entitled to it, so entitlement is another layer that is accidentally getting fed into by the porn industry that's filling our boys' heads with, you're entitled to it, we're better than them, and you just take what you want, right? That's that critical window again between 12 and 15. Be careful of what marinating them to change their perceptions, even though they can have the dad that's done all the stuff you've already said. They can get led really quickly. And then I think that other part is, how do we encourage empathy? And I've talked a lot about why you need to get a guinea pig when you've got little boys who are a bit rough, because they've got to learn how to be gentle with the guinea pig. I also want that guinea pig to die, because, and that sounds really cruel, but I want it to die so they know how much it hurts when something you really are fond of dies. Because I've found in my counselling work, sometimes really violent, abusive men are dealing with massive grief that's never been processed. They've been told to shut down, be stoic, and it's like a nervous system ready to explode. And that thread again, that, that somehow or other, if you've got rage going on, what's under the anger of our boys? Let's explore that. And can they ask for help? Again, in the male world, that is like, whoa, loser, doozer. No, it's not. That's actually the most courageous and brave thing a man can do, who's finding his anger issues, regardless of whether it's directed to the woman in his life or his children. Let's go and see what's under that so I can actually do some therapy and heal it, because that can make a big difference with a rage that's coming out, that will come out through physicality rather than words. And I think all of those together. But we all need to step forward, I think, in that space and go, this isn't enough. Can we have the good men now become louder? Us women have been talking about it forever. We need the good men to step forward now and speak up, because you're there and you are in the massive majority. This is a small percentage of toxic men who do this. All the rest of you are decent, but step forward. Stop being silent.
Beautifully said.